Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Today is November 27th. Let's talk about the games happened on Wednesday. The first game, well, Detroit finally lost to 18. They lost to the Celtics. But, still, they're on the road. They still make it, a one possession game till the end. And how about Kate Cunningham? 14 for 16, 88% from the field. From the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, still in the block. Really, really good. The problem with him is really just the efficiency. But counting number-wise, he's going to have a big year. Duncan Robinson hit 3 threes. He could be a three-point streamer. Pretty consistent, giving you almost 3 threes a game. Not much else. Usually with good efficiency and doesn't hurt you anywhere, really. Efficiency-wise. Jalen Duren, the numbers looks okay. 16 points, 12 rebounds, but just, still the lack of defensive stats. And I don't think Isaiah Stewart, we don't need to roster him because he just doesn't get enough minutes. Now that Tobias Harris is back, 20 minutes off the bench, he could be a great streaming option, but that's about it. Tobias Harris, we need to roster him because, he still needs to be rostered because, he's going to get 30 minutes. He's going to give you close to 15 points with good efficiency. But he's just not that exciting, right? He doesn't really help you anywhere, but doesn't hurt you anywhere. So these type of players would work really, really well if you have an efficient team. But if you're punting two out of the 3 efficiency categories, right, then it's like, okay, how much value is he really bringing me? Like 13, 14 points is fine. He's averaging 14 points. But everything else, 5 rebounds, I can get it anywhere. I guess the another valuable thing that he brings is 89%. He's a great free throw shooter. That's hard to get. Ausar Thompson, 8 rebounds, is still in the block. Pretty good, but the minutes is really not there. For the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, 33 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Amazing. But the efficiency really wasn't there. But, Jaylen Brown, he needs to, of course, when we look across 9 categories, he's not going to be ranked very high. But points, threes, right, the counting number is going to look great. And, the fact that he got 2 steals and 2 blocks is great. Derrick White, finally a good game from Derrick White. 6-3, 7 for 7. Hopefully that's start of something special. 3 steals and a block. He should be doing this every other game. But he's just been shooting the ball very, very poorly. Peyton Pritchard hit 4 3, 16 points. Really good as well. But he just hasn't had, the usage is fairly low, I would say. Played 34 minutes, only got 10 shots. And they started Luka Gaza because who's their starting? Nemias, starting center, was out. And they played Jordan Wash 28 minutes. He's not really fantasy relevant. Yeah, Celtics this year, like, Anthony Simons only gets 12 minutes. He's not a must roster. Baylor Sherman played 30 minutes, had 13 points and 6 fouls. It's just a random game that this guy gets 30 minutes. But Celtics this year, there's really not a lot of fantasy-related things that we, not a lot of players with not a lot of value, because all the bench guys, right, they don't get 30 minutes. They get 20 to 25, and they're not that good fantasy players to begin with. The next game is the New York Knicks. Yep, no surprise here. They beat the Charlotte Hornets. Jalen Brunson is great. 33 points is good with 2 threes, but we know why Jalen Brunson is not super, super good in category leagues. He doesn't really do a lot of, like, 3 assists here. Like, he should be averaging 6 assists, a little bit more assists and defensive stats, more steals, but, he doesn't get those. Miles McBride played 39 minutes, he got 2 steals. He went 5 for 5 from the 3. That's good. Cat, he's just not getting a lot of defensive stats, which we're okay with. When we draft Karl Anthony Towns in the second round, we don't expect him to give us 2 blocks. 1 block I think is plenty, which I don't know is he doing that this year. There'll be games he goes off for like 3 blocks, so that it's gonna even out. He's averaging 0.9 steals and 0.8 blocks. Actually, that's not bad. I'm okay with that. but he's still shooting just 45% from the field. So let's see when that improves. Because, well, despite all that, he's still 18th ranked player. So across 9 category leagues. But, if you have Cat, you got to have an efficient team because that's really his biggest strength. Right? Obviously, a lot of rebounds too. Mikal Bridges, 3 steals and 2 blocks. My God, he's just getting so many defensive stats this year. Something changed. Maybe a different coach, different defensive schemes. He gets a lot of defensive stats. Josh Hart happens every year. He's a must roster now. Let's see what happens when OG comes back. You can try to sell high if you could. For the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo is a mess right now. 4 turnovers and 5 personal fouls, 11 points, 4 for 14. I don't know his injury extent. Maybe he's not fully healthy. Look, if he's not healthy, there's no point. Just play 25 minutes. Just sit out for like another week and get it right. Of course, the blowout, that's why the minutes were low across the board. Brandon Miller hit 4 threes. He's a must roster, but he's got to be more efficient. We know he's going to get points and threes. But, he's got to do more, in the other areas. Miles Bridges, with everybody coming back, his usage is also going to take a little bit hit. And Kanopo also had a bad game. He was rolling before this, 0 for 7 from 3, but he's also a must roster. There are a lot of good players on this team. Ryan Kalkbrenner, all their starters are must rosters. Ryan Kalkbrenner is a must roster. No blocks here, but had a steal with 6 rebounds. Really good field goal guy too. Let's go to the next game. We have the Miami Heat. They beat the Bucks at home. They're finding ways to win, even though they really don't have too much talent. Well, now that Tyler Hero is back. For the Bucks, Ryan Rollins, I did not realize that Kevin Porter Jr., I thought he's out for season or something. But no, I think he's going to be back. So I'm completely wrong about Ryan Rollins. I thought Porter Jr. is out for the season. But, given how well he's been playing, they should continue to start Ryan Rollins. But because you have Michael Porter Jr., there will be some games if Kevin Porter Jr. is going, right? Ryan Rollins is going to lose minutes. That would happen, and that should happen, right? If Porter is playing super well. So if you try to sell him if you can, but now you don't even have Giannis. He's putting up really good numbers: 26 points with 4 threes, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. Pretty good. Gary Trent Jr. with everybody out, he hit 5 threes. If he continues to start threes and we need threes and steals, of course we can have him. Turner had a great one, but just had a block, 24 points. And Kyle Kuzma, he grabbed 12 rebounds. That's nice, and 6 assists somehow. But I don't look at him as a must roster. AJ Green hit 4 threes. That's also fine. Bobby Portis played just 20 minutes. I thought with Giannis out, Porter will come in, play at least 30 minutes and have average 18 points and 10 rebounds. But they, Doc Rivers haven't really played him a lot, which could be disappointing. But that's fine. Once Giannis is back, I don't think he needs to be rostered. For the Miami Heat, though, one guy that's getting a lot of attention right now is Kawhi Ware. He played 26 minutes here. Still a great game. 11 points, 9 rebounds, 4 for 6, hit 1 3, 2 steals, and a block. Still very happy with the production. But, there will be games, now that Tyler Hero is back, there will be games he doesn't start. But that's fine. He still gets 26 minutes. Remain a must roster. Like I said, if you can get a top 30 player back, sure. But top 50, 60, I'm good. I would just hold him. Bam Adebayo, decent game, 11 rebound, 1 3, and a block, 17 points. But look, his minutes impacted a little bit because how well Kawhi Ware has been playing. Bam Adebayo only got 28 minutes here. And of course, there'll be games like they're going to play both guys together. But I think because of the matchup reasons, they, So that's another problem with the Miami Heat. Their rotation is very flexible. Game to game, like Triple J, he only got 17 minutes. That's also because Tyler Hero is back. But game to game, we know Tyler Hero is going to get a lot of minutes. And most of the time, Andrew Wiggins also should. But, who knows? Sometimes if Wiggins is not playing well, he also doesn't get a lot of minutes. So Tyler Hero, amazing, 8 for 8 from the line, 7 assists. The only thing I would say about Tyler Hero is, let's see how many defensive stats he got. He got a steal and a block here, which is really good for him. Norman Powell, sell high window might be close. He's not gonna have crazy high usage, right? 0 for 5 from 3. He also struggled here. But I still expect him to average like 17, 18 points. It's just not. He's averaging, 25 points or something? He's still the 30th ranked player, still averaging 25 points with a pretty good efficiency. Yeah, there will be games he struggle like this year. Especially with Tyler Hero, back. He is the number one option on this team. But it's gonna be a roller coaster ride for Kawhi, where I think he's clearly good, good fantasy player too. It just depends on how many minutes he's gonna get. The next game is the Pacers. They barely lost to the Raptors, but this Pacers team is cooked. I don't think it's a surprise going into the season with all the injuries they have, and they also lost Miles Turner. Yeah, they're 15th. They're the worst team in the NBA. Right, they're the worst team in the NBA. They kept it close. Siakam had 5 fouls, 2 steals. Yeah, look, if you can get equal value or a little bit worse value back for Siakam, I would do it. They're going the other way. They're not making the playoffs. I don't expect anything to change, to be honest. So is Benedict, Mathurin, and Andrew Nembhard. All these guys are must rosters. It just... Actually, Benedict and Andrew Nembhard, I feel way better. Siakam's older, so... And you already know, like Coach Carlisle, if the game is really out of reach or the season is really over, and Siakam is healthy, sure, like they're gonna play him, but is he gonna play 35 minutes? Or how hard is he really going? So with all these factors, we still have a long time. You can try to unload Siakam, but that's something I'll be actively explore, especially Siakam has big games. Same thing with the, Andrew Nembhard and Bennett. I know they're young guys. I just feel like, Coach Carlisle, he's the type of coach that, hey, it is what it is. Season is over. We're not going to play you. It's not like Tom Thibodeau. Isaiah Jackson, 3 for 3 and 3 blocks. Sure, we could stream him for some blocks, but he's definitely not a must roster. And Jarvis Walker, oh my God. A good game from him, 2 steals and block, but he's too inconsistent to trust him. But for sure, we could stream him. For the Toronto Raptors, Emmanuel quickly struggled, 6 for 19, but still had 15 points. And they have Jacoby came off the bench, played 32 minutes. Oh, because RJ Barrett was out. So sure, if you want to stream Jacoby, sure, 13 points. If you want some threes and points, Scotty Barnes had just 1 block, 10 rebound, but went 14 for 14 from the free throw line. So he ended up with 24 points. And how about Brandon Ingram? 26.8 rebound is fine, but 2 steals. Well, he also hit a game winner, but 2 steals and block is really impressive. If he can maintain this level of defensive stats, yeah, he's going to be a top 50 player for sure, because we know he's efficient, right? Over the years, what's always been lacking for him is just the lack of defensive stats, especially the steals. But he's getting a lot this year. So under a different team, different coach, different defensive schemes, he's getting a lot. So good for him. The next game, actually a lot of heavyweight games last night. OKC and Timberwolves. Yeah, that's playoffs basketball. OKC got the win, but hey, even though they're really, really good in the regular season, playoffs could be different, especially while Shea still got 17 free throws. That's fine because we know how aggressive the Timberwolves defense are. But look, if they are allowed to play aggressive defense on Shea and not getting, because the Wolves got a lot of athletes, so if they're allowed to play aggressive defense like how Thunder players play defense like Lou Dort and Caruso, I think it could be very different in the playoffs. A big part of this Shea's game is free throws. If he doesn't get the free throws, everything could fall apart, right? If the defense allowed to be more aggressive with him. Because remember, Shea is not a great 3-point shooter. A lot of the things is just mid-range shots. And the reason he's shooting very effective is because the defense cannot contest or push him off his spots. So, we'll see. That's good to see, these two teams play. I think how many more times they're going to play. It's going to be close every time, I hope. 31 points for Anthony Edwards and 5 threes. Struggle a little bit from the free throw line. Sometimes these type of games when you put a lot of effort on the defensive side, and he also played 40 minutes. He's a -8 though. Dante played well. 2 threes, 11 points. He's a must roster. Rudy, 3 blocks and 12 rebounds and 4 personal fouls. I like what Rudy's been doing this year. Plus, you probably draft him super late. And Julius Randle, yes, he's been struggling. To me, and I still think Randle is going to be very good, but his efficiency has been horrible. Also 4 for 7 from the free throw line. If he can shoot above 80% this year, I'm pretty confident he could be he's going to be a top 40 player. So try to buy low if he continues to struggle. This game, he still got 3 steals and block, which is very impressive. Randle in the past doesn't get a lot of defensive stats, but playing on this Wolves team, he's getting a lot of defensive stats, so that's good. Jaden McDaniels, put all his effort shutting down Shea, so of course offensively he didn't really do much, but he still hit 2 for 2 from 3. Look at OKC. Well, they don't even have Jalen Williams. They don't have Jalen Williams, so of course, Jalen Williams is going to make this team better. Cason Wallace had 2 steals, pretty good. And Shea, of course, 40-point game with 3 steals, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Chet Holmgren struggled until the end, so the line still looked pretty good. And Isaiah Hartenstein played just 28 minutes. Also played well, and AJ Mitchell is still getting a lot of minutes off the bench. So if you want to have him, you still could, for some points, especially some points and threes. And the next game is the Grizzlies. Well, this game went to overtime. And how about Zach Edey? 21 points, 15 rebounds, still and 2 blocks. Yes, plus 39, great. He's a must roster, but we got to remember they did play the Pelicans this game. So if you can trade Zach Edey for, let's see where he's ranked at. In my opinion, Edey is, he's 33rd ranked player. Oh my God. Yeah, any top 30 player for sure. I'll do a 2-for-1, try to get those top 20, top 15 player. The problem with him is a lot of games, he should be getting a lot of rebound and blocks, but a lot of games he's going to be in foul trouble, and a lot of games, right? Especially when Ja Morant is playing, how many times is he really going to feed the big man? That depends, because Vince Williams, he's more than happy to just take 6 shots and getting 17 assists, which is crazy, by the way. Vince Williams is getting double-digit assists over and over again. But if Ja is back and he's the point guard, he's not looking for 80, right? A lot of the times. Sure, Ja is still gonna get 7 assists, but not like Vince Williams. Vince Williams is not looking to shoot. So, but Edey should still get good rebounds and blocks. Obviously, must roster. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a really good game too. 3 steals and a block, and 5 threes. That's what he needs. Play some bad teams, get some confidence back. And Jalen Wells too. 5 threes, 25 points. And, with Edey back, Aldama played just 25 minutes. You could still roster him, but just the minutes is going to be tough. He's not getting 30 minutes. And Sindri Coward also had everybody had a good game across the board. Same thing with the Pelican guys. Derek Queen played just 22 minutes. I don't know why. I like Derek Queen a lot. 9 assists, a steal and a block. Like I said, he's type of, Jokic type of player. And if they shut down Zion Williamson, or he's going to be out a lot of games anyway. They're going to give Queen a lot of minutes. I do see that. But this game, because Missy, now he came off the bench, he did have a better game than Derek Queen. Derek Queen was horrible here, -24. But it's very clear Derek Queen have higher upside in fantasy and in real life as well. He's a big man that can pass. That's a super underrated part. And then I guess he does have a little bit more offense, right? Can put the ball on the floor a little bit. So for sure, from a player development perspective, they wanted to develop Derek Queen. Missy is just, how much playing time do you need? He's playing defense. He's a defensive guy, right? So that's my logic. There'll be games where Missy gets more minutes, like here, but yeah, Derek Queen should get bulk of the minutes most of the time. Sadiq Bey hit 4 threes. We got to roster him. He's playing too well not to get rostered. Trey Murphy hit 2 threes, 2 steals. He's another guy that we know Pelicans they're not going anywhere. So if they want to protect his health, you know, as we get to the end of the season. Jeremiah Fears, he just doesn't get 30 minutes, so not a big fan. I think he's already got enough opportunities, and he hasn't really performed. So moving on to the next game. Well, this game, the Warriors and the Rockets, you know, these two teams have a little rivalry going on. It's always low scoring, 104-100. And how about, and they didn't, it's pretty impressive. They went to Golden State with no KD, right? And Reed Shepard went off. 31 points, 4 threes, 9 rebounds. He is really good offensively. And if he can really, I guess, he's already good. He can start contributing right away in the playoffs. This is his second year. He barely got any playing time last year. But, you know, he's not going to do this every game. But he adds another element, because this Rockets team, what they lack is, you know, a shooter or a playmaker. Because everybody else is, you know, super. I mean, Şengün can play make too, but everybody else is super long, athletic, right, on the defensive end. So sometimes you add Reed Shepard to kind of like carry the offense a little bit. It could help, could make a big impact. Şengün, 7 for 18, 2 for 5 from the free throw line. You know, the rebounds is very low for him. Back-to-back games now. Capella had 12 rebounds. No Steven Adams. So Şengün struggled again. That's why the problem with him is not the counting number, it's just horrible efficiency. You know, 2 for 5 from the line again. Jabari Smith had 15 points, and Amen Thompson, 14 rebounds is really good, but only 1 steal. I understand it's hard to guard Steph Curry. For Steph Curry, I think he got hurt toward the end. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Pretty rough game from him, but he had 2 blocks, 7 turnovers, and 4 personal fouls. Not the best game from Steph, and he is old. Jimmy Butler had 21 points and 2 steals and 2 threes. That's pretty good. And Draymond had 2 threes and 2 blocks as well. Oh, a big game from Draymond. Yeah, who knows? These two teams could definitely run into each other in the playoffs. Let's go to the next game. We have the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs, they are really. I thought Wemby is the one carrying them, but no, Spurs are winning games without Wemby because they have De'Aaron Fox. 37 points, 8 assists, 3 steals and block. A lot of people underrate De'Aaron Fox coming to the season. You know, that's totally fair because, you know, back when he was on the Sacramento Kings, he's a 3rd-round player. This year, I guess he was also hurt beginning of the year. But, you know, people don't expect him to score too much playing next to Wemby. You know, of course, the Spurs are trying to figure out what's the best way to win. Offensively, I feel like they don't really need to rely on Wemby too much. They got a lot of weapons. Defensively is really Wemby's values are. So I don't know. De'Aaron Fox, clearly he can lead the team to a win, like 3 threes, 12 for 12 from the free throw line, right? Let's see, he's not going to average 27 points, but 24, you know, he could have a good season. And as you know, the Spurs make a push to the playoffs, because Spurs right now they're the 5th team, 12-5, and they are 7-3 in the last 10, and they play a lot of games without Wemby. So Devin Vassell also had a great one, 3 threes. They got high quality players. Harrison Barnes is contributing. Julian Champagnie, right? The roles are very clear. Julian Champagnie is not gonna take any dribble, just catch and shoot and play defense. Luke Cornett, 9 rebounds and 3 blocks. We could definitely stream him in the short term for some rebounds and blocks and good field goal. For the Portland Trailblazers, Donovan Killigan, 11 rebounds and a block. An okay game from him, and Danny Advia continues to impress. 37 points with 8 assists with 5 threes. He is dominating. And averaging 25 points and 5.5 assists. Really, this year, just lack of steals is what's holding him back. But he's a top 50, 40 player. And if we purely look at counting number-wise, he's definitely better than that. So that's good. Jeremy Grant struggled here with 5 personal fouls and 13 points. I always try to sell him, to be honest. And Kamara also struggled offensively too. Chris Murray gets 20. I mean, sometimes the minutes are really random. Now Shaden Sharp came off the bench, gets 21. So they just haven't figured out how, they don't have a consistent rotation. So anytime anybody goes off, try to sell them. Same thing with Donovan Killigan too. Because you have Robert Williams came off the bench and had 1 steal and 4 blocks. So he doesn't even get 30 minutes every night. All right. Last game of the night, we have Phoenix Suns. They beat the Kings. Devin Booker has been playing pretty horribly. The funny thing is, the Phoenix Suns, they're winning. So, I guess from Devin Booker perspective, he's happy with that. 19 points, 6 assists, and a steal. But 6 for 22 for Devin Booker. Another super rough game. Devin Booker right now is a huge buy low. Like, if you can trade Ryan Rollins plus somebody, right, to get him, I'm just looking at some of these trades. Like Julius, okay, Drew Randall has cooled off quite a bit. But, Jimmy Butler, I would trade Jimmy Butler for Devin Booker for sure. If I get Devin Booker in this case, Jimmy Butler's got a lot of injury concerns. Trey Murphy, I'm looking at all these names. Devin Booker, he is right now, I think a part of the reason is like going into every single matchup, he is the one that's getting focused. So he doesn't really have a lot of easy looks, but he's not going to shooting the ball this bad. He should be averaging like high 20s, like 27, 28 points with 6, 7 assists with good efficiency, especially with the free throw. His biggest category is probably the points and the free throws, but he's not doing that right now. At some point, he's gonna. And of course, I think they also play some tough matchups. I guess not the Kings. Kings not that great defensively. Mark Williams, big one, 16 rebounds with 3 steals and a block. That's great. Royce hit 3 threes, and Dylan Brooks, who's been playing very well, struggled a little bit here. And Jordan Goodwin is a great guy to stream in category leagues at least, especially 8 rebounds with 2 steals and a block. We look at the Kings. Yeah, they're a mess right now. They somehow beat Denver last week. Russell Westbrook continues to get the start. So where's Danny Schroeder? Danny Schroeder did not play here. Malik Monk only 23 minutes off the bench, and Zach LaVine another pretty bad game, and DeRozan pretty rough game. And they have Sabonis out. Yeah, this team is not in a good spot right now. I don't know what else to say. You can't even sell high, and I wouldn't even buy low. I mean, unless the guy is stupid, right? If you buy low on DeRozan, Zach LaVine for like a waiver wire player, it's and we don't know if they. Another thing to consider is they're really, really bad, so they might want to blow it up. So if you say Zach LaVine goes to a different situation, it might be a lot better, but we just don't know. That's it, guys. I will see you tomorrow.